This is True Buzz, that Mary Jane, now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Yeah, number one, it's the best, bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up, the perfect show for my smokers. True Buzz.
What's on the trajectory for Florida? Like, are they going to do like a recreational ballot, or do you know anything about that at all? Or
So yeah, I mean, that's actually a pretty interesting point of conversation too here in Florida. There have been a few different petitions and nonprofits that have come together to try to get recreational on a ballot. And the biggest one to gain a lot of traction last year, it was also really controversial, and I think they're trying to do it again this year, and I'll tell you why it was controversial, but there's something called Make It Legal Florida, and it's actually backed by like a couple of different large corporate cannabis companies that already exist. And so it's kind of like, okay, cool. There's a petition to make cannabis legal in Florida, or for, recreational for 21 and over 21 and over people, recreational. Here's a petition. What's wrong with that, right? Well, in the laws that are being presented in this petition or these amendments that would be, if the petition went through, if the ballot went through, like, they don't allow for home grow. And that's a huge thing for patients. Patients really, really want and need, really, I mean, they should, I think, have access to home grow. If they're able to buy the plant in a package at the store, they should be allowed to grow it too.
Are you allowed home grow right now? Sorry to interrupt.
So, no, we're not. That's the thing right now. So we're not allowed home grow at this point. So that's been a big kind of point of contention as well, because so it's interesting in that sense. And it's so this Make It Legal Florida petition, I was really excited about it at first until I realized this, they're trying to, what's happening with that petition is it's really just companies that finally have the momentum and the money to try and get something legalized finally in our state. But unfortunately, they also appear to have their own interests in mind above those of the patients, because if they really wanted to make it legal Florida, which is a really funny acronym, if I may, people always joke about that, but Make It Legal Florida is just, so it was a good idea on the face of it, but then once you start to learn more about it, a lot of patients are not so happy with the idea, especially because it's backed by MedMen and then a couple other. So I don't know. There's kind of I don't know where it's going to end up, and I don't know when, if ever. Well, I like to think we'll see it happen, and I think we will see it happen. I think we'll see recreational become a thing. I just don't know when. Like, I was thinking it would be hopefully this year, but then this year, obviously is kind of different than we had all planned.
That's the truth. So in terms of getting your card, because I know when I came out here about 5 years ago, they'd had the cards going on for a while. It was relatively easy. I mean, I do have actual like medical things I could get it for, like such as like a back problem and stuff. But like, what's it like getting a card out there? Is it pretty thorough, or is it pretty laid back?
So for my experience was that it was extremely laid back. Well, I wouldn't say extremely laid back. It was laid back. However, my situation may have been that laid back because I was already seeing a couple of different doctors at the time, and I was able to produce medical paperwork from those doctors and have them transfer that over to my medical marijuana doctor. So they were able to kind of see, okay, here's like her backs. We already know a lot about her or whatever. So it was my situation it's been very easy. It's been, I would say, like, it's kind of pricey. Like, we have to go back and renew our cards every 7 months, and then also every
random.
year. I know. Who made these rules, and how?
Some guy's like, lucky number 7.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what? Like, what strain were they smoking when they made these laws? Like, what? I want some of that, So anyway, so it's super crazy. Like, it's these little things, and I kind of like I've started to learn all these, like, just more about it than I ever planned to, but at the same time, it's super interesting to me, and it's kind of my like hobby. Like, I just stay super interested in the Florida scene of cannabis, and like I just try to stay up to date with it because there's always new stuff happening.
Well, it's really cool that you're doing that.
This is True Buzz, that Mary Jane, now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Yeah, number one, it's the best, bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up the perfect show for my smokers. True buds.